Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me this evening. I'm shooting this video on Saturday night. The day's almost over. I'll probably be heading off to bed pretty soon. I had a nice relaxing day today. Didn't do anything really. I got out and did a couple of errands, just got some food and ate well and made myself a nice dinner. Anyhow, guys, men, you know, you might pick up something here, so I would welcome you to stay, but this video tonight is directed to the ladies in the crowd. You know, I don't know if anybody has a YouTube channel, or if you don't, you can go into the back end where you upload your videos and you get a lot of statistics and demographics there, and I've noticed that it breaks it down in the amount of people watching my videos. And I saw that it's broken down. It's almost, I think it's like 65-35 women to men, 65% women. And that's good. I've always been in touch. I've always liked the feminine energy. I believe in the goddess energy. I believe in strong women. You know, and you know, take everything with, like, I'll always preface it with this: if there's somebody new watching, I'm going to be talking about stuff, and I'm a single male, always have been, never have been married, so I don't know, that could be relevant or not, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe I have some more perspective. I've always said if I did settle down, it would have to be with a strong woman. I mean, you know, I come from the South where that's not always the attitude of men. But I left there a long time ago, so I've never wanted the little wifey at home. And nothing's wrong with that. My mother was a housewife. A lot of my good friends are housewives, and they've made a conscious choice to take care of their children and take care of the husband, take the house. But most of these women also have made a choice. They're not doing it because they can't do anything else. That's what they want to do. Heck, I know a few men that are like Mr. Mom. So I don't really believe in those gender roles. Let me just kind of say that. I don't really believe in this is the man's role, this is the woman's role. Okay, where am I going with this? You know, I see this all the time, because there seems to be a very high proportion of people in this lifestyle, veganism, raw food, are women. And I would say the large majority of them, or if they do have spouses, boyfriends, their partner does not follow this lifestyle. And then you bring kids in, and I can see how it can be really challenging. It's challenging anyway, but all the comments I see and all the forums I go to and all the groups I go to just have multiple women saying the same thing. Their husband's giving them grief. Everybody's giving them grief. The whole family is angry with them because mama's upset the apple cart a little bit by living this new lifestyle, trying to improve herself, trying to do something to better herself. And a lot of the time, a lot of these women that are getting, in my opinion, so disrespected and not being treated with love by the people that are supposed to be their main source of love around them. And we can kind of excuse the kids unless they're a certain age, because kids are kids. But, you know, the hubby or the boyfriend or whatever, actively sabotaging you, ridiculing you, almost abuse, almost on the edge of abuse. And I don't like to throw that word around, because I know some people might take offense at that, like, yeah, that's not close to abuse, but I'm thinking, why? I keep hearing this over and over, and why? Here you are, you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to improve your health, and probably a lot of you are doing it so you can be more present for your family. And even though you probably don't want to be putting that kind of food into them, you even, I know a lot of you even go through the whole thing of, hey, I'm going to make my stuff and I'm going to make your stuff. So at that point, you know, we need to be loving in everything we do, but at that point, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, you've just got a disagreeable person in your life. Now, I'm not saying anything like you need to walk out right now, set down ultimatums, but a lot of times it's just like, just standing up for yourself a little bit, standing up in a firm but a loving way. You don't have to resort to any sort of hysterics. You don't have to resort to any sort of anger. You just have to, you kind of have to decide you're going to make yourself a priority. Most of the women that I see talking about this situation or whatever, and of course I'm not in their house, I'm not getting the whole story or whatever, don't seem to be preaching heavy, beating their family over the head with this stuff. Okay, yes, if you're not in the lifestyle, we all kind of experience that. We talk about it a lot. It takes a lot of preparation. We're doing a lot of learning. So maybe family members could get annoyed, but I don't understand it because I'm not a woman, I'm not a mother, but I do understand it because I understand that mother thing. I've seen it. All you got to do is witness it a couple of times, and women are really, men have fooled themselves for thousands, probably millions of years, thinking we were the leaders, thinking we control things, thinking we are what makes the world go round. But to be quite honest, it's really the woman. It's the feminine energy. I won't even get into some deep stuff, but I even think a lot of stuff in religions, I think there's actually been a conspiracy, and some things have been suppressed that were original, some thoughts that were originally suppressed just to kind of keep women in their place. They'll stay in your place. You need to know your place. But why? Why? And sometimes, though, it's like, you can only encourage people so far. It's like the person that's, it's like the kid that's bullied at school. Eventually he's got to, and however you raise your kids, I'm not saying, the violence or whatever, but at some point, whether it's whatever, he's got to stand up for himself. At some point, we all in life have to stand up for ourselves. Now, I know it's just the mama's way to put the kids first, because I've said, damn near every mother I know, well, the good ones, and I don't really like to know women that are, I have zero. This is probably the one absolute I'll say, and it ain't nice. I have zero respect for a bad mother. Zero. Unless she's got mental illness or something like that, zero respect for a bad mother. So most of the mothers I know, man, they would not even hesitate. I don't even know about that because I don't have kids. They would lay down their life in a second for their kids. Everything is always about the kids. Okay, the husband's a little bit behind, The husband has to be taken care of also. Although, for the life of me, I've never, I guess being that single guy that's always known, before this lifestyle, I knew how to cook, I've always known how to do my laundry. I've just never felt like, and I always said, I even told friends like that had kind of those, back in the South, conventional type relationships, I'm like, that would frighten me to death to have somebody, well, not frighten me, it would bug me to death to have somebody hovering over me, taking care of me. I don't mind somebody doing something nice every once in a while. So where am I going with this? What's the point? What am I saying? What am I possibly encouraging you to do in your situation? And I'm not going to be so bold as to put any specifics or to say, hey, maybe you know your situation. But whether you do or not, whether I got all the info or not, the people that have expressed this, the women that have expressed this, they wouldn't express it if they weren't feeling it. And if they've put it out there, well, then it's a problem. And at some point, you're just going to have to stand up. I even know women that their kids are raised and out of the house, and the family still puts pressure on the mom. Now, she might even be a grandmom, but it's like, and I've probably done this back in the day with my mother, and it's like, there's men, we always seem to think the wife, the girlfriend, the mother, the grandmother, we just assume they're there to take care of us. We just assume they're there to do those little things that those niceties that we like in life. those niceties that if it was just a male world, we'd live and we'd probably still be grunting and living in caves and being dirty. Because, you know, they just bring that touch to life. So I guess what I'm saying, and just wanted to express this to you, at some point you just have to stand up for yourself in the way you see fit. You know, maybe if you've dealt with certain things, it's not in such a nice way. You just kind of put your foot down and say, this is how it's going to be from now on. You know, I'm not overly pushing this on you. And if you are trying to put a few more fruits and vegetables in your life, well, shame on you for trying to put something good in your family's life. But I know if you're in a family and if you got those kids, and you know, you've got to walk that tight line. You're going to take care of your family. I just know that's the woman's instinct. You're always going to take care of that family first. But it's kind of like being on the plane where they always say, you know, if the pressure drops and we need to use the oxygen mask, put the mask on your face first before you try to help children and other people. Well, I think that sort of, I can use an analogy there. I think that the healthier mom is, the happier mom is, the more beneficial she's going to be to the family. The more there's going to be harmony in the house. I mean, you know, I don't understand that. Having lived by myself for so long, I can't even imagine. I won't ever go into this situation, but I had a situation of bad disharmony about 4, 5, 6 years ago that kind of lingered off and on. And let me tell you something, I came close to losing my mind. I was smoking pack and a half of cigarettes a day. Stress was going to kill me, and I was just like, once I got out of that situation, I was like, never again. I've you know, and it kind of comes from maybe a sort of selfishness, but maybe a good selfishness. I was an only child, so I've always had harmony in my house. I can't stand disharmony in my house. So anyway, ladies, I hope you might take something from this. But I just want to say, I think I wanted to do this video, even though it may not be the most eloquent video. I just wanted to have you hear this from a male perspective. And, you know, maybe you find your voice. Maybe you think about this a little bit. Maybe you think about the strong women out there. Maybe you think about those women that are just, you know, forces of nature, and you tap back into that strong feminine energy, that goddess energy. I was reading something this morning I'm going to share with you before I go. I'm reading a wonderful book right now called The Wisdom of Native Americans. I'm going to talk about this in a different perspective in another video, but oh, I forgot. I don't have my contacts on tonight, so I don't need my reading glasses. All right, and this is about the, oh God, what tribe was I reading about? I think this was about the Sioux, the Lakota of the Sioux, but anyway, it's a great book. It's been about, you know, different tribes, and this specific section was talking about the moral strength of women. So I just wanted to read this part of it to let you know the strength. And these people, I'm getting back into, I'm not back in touch, I'm not indigenous or anything, of course, but I read a book on indigenous cultures last summer when I was locked up. And this is the second one, and I've already got 2 or 3 more on the way. I'm becoming fascinated by native cultures because they lived in accordance with this earth. And besides the food, you know, the food is something to clean me out, to get this clear, so I can understand things the way I think they were meant to be understood. And the native peoples of this world, they lived in a natural order of things. And I want to tell you how they looked at women. You know, you might see some of the stuff in the bullshit, pardon my language, history that we've been taught in school about the Native Americans, the native of every culture is a bunch of savages, but here it is coming from one of those that's heard the stories, and that's their traditions mostly. It's been passed down. The moral strength of women. In the woman is vested the standard of morals of our people. She is the silent but telling partner behind all of life's activities. She rules undisputed in her own domain. The children belong to her clan, not to the clan of the father. She holds all the family property, and the honor of the house is in her hands. All virtue is entrusted to her, and her position is recognized by all. Possessed of true feminine dignity and modesty, she is expected to be the equal of her male in physical endurance and skill, and to share equally in the arduous duties of daily life. But she is expected to be superior in spiritual insight. She is the spiritual teacher of the child, as well as its tender nurse, and she brings its developing soul before the great mystery as soon as she is aware of its coming. It is her responsibility to endow her child with nature's gifts and powers, for we believe that from the moment of conception to the end of the second year, it is her spiritual influence that counts for most. There is nothing artificial about her person and very little insincerity in her character. Her early and consistent training, the definiteness of her vocation, and above all, her profoundly religious attitude gives her a strength and poise that cannot be overcome by ordinary misfortune. It is my belief that no woman of any race has ever come closer to universal motherhood. She is in fact the moral salvation of our people. I mean, they knew what it was about. They knew what it was about. Because, and other cultures don't acknowledge it. I lived in Greece for a while. You know, it's a very macho society over there, and the men think they're in charge. But when Mama says something in the house, the roles might kind of be murky, like, the guy looks like he's in charge, but when Mama says something, that's what goes. Down here the same, even though this is Central America, the Latin culture, Mama's looked at. Mama is a big deal down here. Mother's Day is one of the biggest holidays down here. So anyhow, that just is kind of something nice I was reading this morning. I've been thinking about this video for a couple of days. But anyhow, ladies, if you like this video, if you think as women, I don't know, maybe you'll say, hey, he's full of whatever. He doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. If you like this video, as a woman, from a woman's perspective, and if you think it might be something that other women need to hear, share this one. I want to encourage, every once in a while I'll say, hey, share this one, but I would like to see as many women as possible share this video, especially if you're in circles and networks with other women that are living this lifestyle. Anyhow, have a great evening. I'm about to wind it up and head off to bed soon. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend, or no, you won't have a beautiful rest of the weekend because this ain't gonna come out until probably Monday or Tuesday. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Love you.